Let's go. We got people in the hot seat. I am live with Aaron O, and this is the hot seat. We got some hot takes. We're going to agree, disagree, but it's going to be an interesting one today because America's favorite team. What is your thoughts already on how beautiful America team is doing?
Yeah. The Cowboys season is officially over. Ended with destruction at the hands of the Philadelphia Eagles. I think it was like a 35 point loss. And it just went to full destruction mode from the coaching staff down to the entire team, ownership, everybody. It's blowing up in front of everybody's face. You got upset employees calling out the bosses, and it couldn't happen on a better day. It couldn't happen on a better day. I am so happy to see the Dallas Cowboys get destroyed by my Philadelphia Eagles, and officially in their season, they played with a backup quarterback because, for many reasons it happens. They thought he was the future at one point because he played well one season, and they thought he could do it again. 5+, I think they had like 5 turnovers. I don't know, something like that. It was just beautiful to watch. Unfortunately, the Cowboys fans will be back next year. They're going to have a new coach. I'm sure of it. A lot of new players, and they might need new ownership. Just is what it is. It's just how football is supposed to be played, sir. What were your thoughts on this?
How are you going to get rid of? My first thought is this: how are you going to get rid of ownership? How are you going to kick him out of the seat? He paid for everybody. That's number one. I think he is the number one contributor to all of the division within the team. However, with that being said, McCarthy he did it to himself. He got a couple of people fired that took on other jobs, and they are flourishing in other places. So it goes to show that it wasn't those people that was under him. It wasn't his goddamn his offensive coordinator. No, it was not, because guess what? His offensive coordinator went somewhere else, and he's doing absolutely great. Offense is doing well. And this man, he was doing scapegoat after scapegoat after scapegoat. He even said himself to get the job that he lied. Now, granted, he's been in the coaching world for a very long time. I think about maybe 3 decades. He probably been coaching longer than I'm alive. But however, he's been doing a horrible job at it since he's been a coach.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I do believe the coaching is really bad. Most things that happen in Dallas is pretty bad, from ownership to the coaching staff. Some of the players are good. I think Micah Parsons, who came in from injury, I think it was his first game back since early on in the season, made an immediate impact and caused a fumble. I was upset. But he is an elite player, one of the best at his position. Some people argue he is the best there. And so being that great at something, it must suck to lose. Oh, it must suck to lose, and it must be horrible to lose to the Philadelphia Eagles to end your season. I believe that team is in the middle of a meltdown, sir.
So now my next question is, what are they going to do with Dak? Do you think they are going to move Dak Prescott? Because the way how Jerry Jones was talking about Cooper Rush that they was doing, they looked better under Cooper Rush. So I think that was a shot at Dak. Also, I believe Micah Parsons early in the year, he gave his top 10 quarterbacks, and he casually left out Dak. I think it's really something going on in that locker room. Jerry Jones, he has a problem because he has loose lips, and it translated all the way down into Micah Parsons just blurting out whatever he wants. So what he was doing good, bragging rights is a beautiful thing. However, when you're doing bad, those same kind of bragging rights, those same kind of tools that you was using when you was bragging, it could come back and haunt you and haunt the team. And now it's spilling out into the streets so bad that they want to put curtains on the goddamn stadium. because CeeDee Lamb can't see. That's why he can't catch a touchdown.
Yeah, from ownership down, it's just been horrific. You can't have a multi-billion-dollar stadium. I believe it's the AT&T stadium, if I'm not mistaken. It's a really remarkable stadium. Like, it's very nice, big TVs in there and all that good stuff. But it costs your team potentially a chance to compete. He was wide open on that play. CeeDee Lamb is one of the top receivers in the NFL. All right, he's a talent. He would have not dropped that pass. I was happy that he couldn't see. It felt like if you was gambling and you know how you want to put the little light on something when you're in the crowd and just you want to put that in there. So it's just embarrassing for this type of thing to take place on a stage like that, led by just at the end of the day. Jerry Jones is a great owner. He is a horrible general manager. He should not be in that position. He's just trying not to pay people and keep that extra money for himself because he ultimately wants to have the last decision because it's a little narcissistic, potentially, a little controlling, but it's his money, it's his team. But it's been to his detriment. Since he's taken the helm at that position, I think they've won almost no Super Bowls, basically.
Damn.
So it is what it is.
28 years, I believe. So now my question is this. How do you think the locker room dynamics and team morale would be affected by this new potential coaching change?
I think it will be welcomed. I don't believe they're going to pick the right coach because they almost never do, unfortunately for them. But there'll be some good names out there for them to be able to grab. But we know Jerry Jones is ultimately going to fail. Unless he's going to grab a coach from college, unless he gets Nick Saban back, there's rumblings about maybe the LeBron James and Bronny effect. So you possibly got, Dion with his son Shadir. It's a they've been throwing that. I've been hearing that floating out there. I just don't believe that they're going to pull it off.
That would be very interesting. They get rid of Dak, bring Mr. Shadir in. Bring his son Shiloh in because he was already doing a dance yesterday anyway, whatever day they played. So that would be interesting. He do need a home. Why not bring him back to Dallas? It's going to make everybody love the team again. That's for sure. And he'll be able to bring at least one of his sons with him, which would be also awesome as well. Is he ready to coach those big boys? I believe so because he just got so much. He's almost like royalty in sports now, right? So it would be interesting to see Deion Sanders as a coach, especially if he get a chance to coach his own son. But I don't think Jerry Jones is going to give Deion Sanders what he would need to actually be a good coach. That is the issue, what I'm seeing.
Yeah, Deion won't take it because Jerry wants too much control. And when you're making a jump like that, you want to make sure you have the most control over the situation you possibly can. I think as somebody said they want Belichick. That's cool if you want Belichick. I don't believe it's a situation he wants. Dak is a really good quarterback. I just don't think he's the guy. I just don't believe coming off that injury is a really difficult injury to come back from. So I understand that it usually takes some time, but the season is over. Hey, tank. Go ahead and tank and go ahead and get you the number 2-3 pick and see if you can get lucky and roll the dice.
Speaking of taking, what gave him the idea that you cut a running back and then you pay him money to tell him to come back and thought he's going to get better? How does that make any kind of sense? And also I want to know, do you want to see if anybody want to come up and challenge anything and be in the hot seat with us?
So, guys, we created the hot seat. So how this show works is only one person is allowed to join the show at a time. If you can sustain the hot seat, you may stay in the seat. If the audience deems you not worthy or somebody wants to take your spot, you will be kicked out of the hot seat. But if you cook it, they might support you and bring you to the hot seat. But something that we trying out, having some fun, because I just don't think everybody is going to be allowed to sit in the hot seat. We'll see how it happens. So if someone believes that they can sit in this seat and talk sports with us, believe that they can argue their side, they can get in the hot seat.
So should I put the link in the pin it? How should I do this?
Yeah, you can drop the link. And if someone wants to come in and tell their side, let them try. But hey, listen, this is the hot seat.
Do you think the Cowboy fans are crying right now, or they are in? Or you think they enjoy the fact that they're going to get a coach that's actually competent, and that he can move? In it's possible they could get a new coach that can move. They're not getting Bill. That is, they might as well forget that. Bill Belichick, he wants way too much quietness for a Cowboys team. He don't want his players talking, so Micah's going to have to put that is not possible. When Brady and them was winning, it was no talking and bragging and boasting on how good or bad a player was. It was none of that shit go. It was none of that kind of talk going on at all. They are not going to be able in this lifetime, in our lifetime, to get a Bill Belichick unless Jerry Jones die and pass it to his next of kin.
Well, we both know he's gonna live forever. It's some Cowboys fans. Listen, I'm gonna stop doing Jerry bad. He is one of the better owners. He is normally willing to spend money. People don't understand when his time does come and he leaves the Cowboys, it can be similar to how what's going on with the former Oakland Raiders now out in Las Vegas after Al Davis passed away. They might never recover. It could be that bad. So it is what it is. We know Jerry's Jerry, but we don't know what to expect. But we did hear one of the Cowboys players express his discontent with management. Do you have the audio from Micah? I
do have some audio for it, and we also have somebody that's willing to get in the hot seat.
Yeah, I see.
Let's see. Good day to you, lads. How are you doing today? What's your thoughts?
What up, though? But this is my thoughts on this. I think Jerry intentionally is throwing this season. That's why he paid Dak. That's why he paid CD Lamb, because he had no intention on winning. I think that Jerry Jones is tanking for another wide receiver.
No.
What? Think about it. All these 13-win seasons, what type of draft picks have y'all gotten?
Okay, so I don't even know what to think about this crazy idea that you have that he is tanking on purpose. He said, "Dak, go ahead and get yourself injured. We're gonna pay CD Lamb, and so we're gonna tank so we could go and grab what wide receiver from what college." Shout out to Harrison Days with the 5-ball. What is this? Salute. This is the hot seat.
HD, what up?
Davis. Good question. Give me a second here. I'll Google all the wide receivers coming out in this draft.
Wow.
You
came up with an argument that you can't defend.
That's horrible. No matter who you look up in college, it's really irrelevant. Nobody in NFL history has ever tanked for a wide receiver.
Ever.
To be honest with you, the Lions tanked for years to build that roster.
No, sir. Sir, you specifically said they're tanking to draft a wide receiver, sir.
Well, draft. How about first round players? Some first round draft picks.
Oh, so you just throwing things against the wall now. You just like
I'm just saying, because y'all called out specifics at this point, and I'm just saying, hey, that he could have tanked to get better players on his roster. That is not infallible. They just asked Brian Flores to do it.
Okay,
Jerry.
So you believe the owner is tanking. What actions do you believe he took to tank?
He ain't pick up not a single soul in the offseason to fill those positions from defense from last year. Cowboys defense was atrocious last year. No changes. But I'll take that back. Nothing but the most liberal defensive coordinator in the NFL. That dude, man, you know what I'm saying? He was so bad, they thought he was the offensive coordinator for a while. But let's get back to it, right? The only thing he does in 11 hours is secure two positions on that roster, Dak and CD Lamb. Wow. I'm thinking that he's...
Hold on, ADS. So I got a question for Aaron O. They already saying, so how do they get him up out of here? If they ain't like the way he's saying he ain't cooking, what is it that they got to do?
All right. I'm out.
Hold on, ADS.
I just want to make my point.
Hold on. We got you.
No, so you good. You sit in the hot seat as long as the audience is fine with it. But if they want to boot you out of the hot seat, or if somebody else wants to take your place because they can argue sports better than you, they remove you from the hot seat. So you might be cooking in their eyes. We don't know. We got all difference of opinions here. It's no problem.
So we got Mr. Park. He want to know how he get him out of here. So how do if somebody want to take his spot because there's only one seat available at a time? How do they do this?
The best way is to boot him off the panel, in my estimation.
So y'all heard it.
Damn.
Yeah. So while people figure out they want to boot you or not, if it's worth it to get you out the hot seat so they can take your spot or just get your ass out of there so we can move on to the next segment, we will see what they do. It is $20 to boot them off. To me or Aaron O, it doesn't matter how you do it. Cash App, Super Chat, PayPal.
Make it 10. I'm the first one up here. The first contestant to get a half price. Make it 10.
So I mean, it's interesting thoughts on the tanking aspect. I believe they're definitely going to tank now, but it's because their season has been destroyed by the superior team, which is the Philadelphia Eagles. And it just so happened it coincides with now it's time to actually tank. So, it worked in their favor. Plus, their quarterback got injured. So it won't look like he's actually tanking on purpose. But I believe they will not rush Dak Prescott back very fast as the season is most likely officially over. I don't know if they're 100% ruled out of the playoffs, but it's dang near close.
How did Cooper Rush look so bad, though? He looks horrible.
Speaking of Dak Prescott, do you think they could get rid of him and dump him off, especially when being injured?
No, the cap hit is crazy. You could argue they could do something similar like they did with Russell Wilson,
right?
But I don't believe they had. That would upset all of the Cowboys fans. For like Cowboy Nation is different than the Denver Broncos, so you can't just cut somebody who's been to the Pro Bowl, who's won a playoff game, probably one of the more successful quarterbacks that they've had in a long time, and replace him with nobody. You'd have to get somebody else, and I don't think there's nobody there.
Shout out to them boys. How about those Cowboys? All right, ADS, even though you got a ridiculous take, we're about to get into this audio real quick because that was absolutely ridiculous, sir. We're going to get into Micah Parsons. Let's see what he is talking about with his beautiful coach.
Yeah, just as I'm coming back.
Mike's on the final year of his contract, so outside there's, of course, going to be questions. What's the sentiment inside the locker room, and what do you tell people who are wondering about whether McCarthy will be your coach next year?
That's above my pay grade about if Mike is coaching again next year. But, all coaching aside, Mike can leave and go wherever he wants. But guys, I kind of feel bad for his guys like Zach Martin and guys who might be on their last year on their way out, because that's what I wanted to hold the trophy for. You want to win games and do great things with those type of legends who put in more time and work than Mike McCarthy ever did. So those
are some harsh words from your star, your young star. What is your thoughts when your young star, he's not even calling him coach? What is your thoughts? Do you agree with Micah calling out his coach? All clearly they on the first name basis, Mike. What is your thoughts on that, Aaron O? Do you agree with Micah Parsons on airing out, I would say, the dirty laundry?
To me personally, it's a lack of professionalism. However, to me, what it's showing is that the NFL players, right, and they can definitely attach this to LeBron James, okay, have ever since LeBron has showed people how to take control of their own destiny and get their own media companies, become this force, I believe that at this point, they no longer look at authority. Yeah, Cowboys down bad. They no longer look at authority as the coaches are above them. They look at it as we partners now. Like, you might be the coach, but we partners now. Like, I'm important too. You ain't over us. We ain't just employees. We partners. They changing the dynamics of it. And I think it's dangerous because we need hierarchies. But a lot of these younger players are not the old dogs, so they don't actually look at it the same way and just fall in line and be quiet. So, although I think it's a lack of professionalism, it gives us some insight about the power that the players now have, what they understand, and the of what they're willing to do. But I also think Micah Parsons is he don't like that coach.
Mm.
He's a bright young man. He knows full well what those words were going to do to the media, as he is now in media to a degree, and he's been a pro for a couple years. He kind of knows how incendiary those words were going to be, and he did it anyway. So I do think it's a lack of professionalism, but I do think it's raw and honest. And, sometimes this is what some of the fans might want. The fans might want their best player to get him up out of here this way. But, that's how I looked at it.
Shit. So I look at it as it was blatant disrespectful for sure. I don't believe he should have done it. And clearly this is a young man that he watched too much The Walking Dead, because he turned his head coach into a zombie. Literally. His days is numbered. He's going to be out of there by the end of the season, more than likely. And if he was able to find some way to get re-signed, I don't even know what to even think about that, how they would have to change everybody. I think he would lose a majority of the locker room, and they would just be on another 2 or 3, 4 season, however he gets signed for, if that's possible. But I think he is a dead man walking. He is a zombie. That is the end of Mike and his run. Hey, it was a good con. He said it himself, that he lied to the goddamn owner to get the job. He got a couple of people fired. That was good for the team, clearly, because they went somewhere else and became successful, which is insane to me. I think all those things is absolutely, like somebody said in the chat, those are writing on the wall, and it's over for him. And that stupid beard. And he was not tanking on purpose. No, this is just bad coaching. This is clearly, we can see now the difference between good coaches and horrible coaches. Quarterbacks and coaches, they go hand in hand. So therefore, Mike got to take the full brunt of the downfall of the Cowboys in recent times.
He's just not a great coach to that locker room, because who's going to call out Micah for saying that? Who's going to stand up and say, Mike, like this, he's a good coach, we love him here? If no players come out and say they love the coach, it's a problem.
Not one. Not even Dak.
Well, that yeah. Well,
not even Dak.
Dak got enough.
Everybody. He loved everybody. He Mr. Optimistic.
So look, listen. They my dog Laguerre believed Dak is still the future. He believed Dak is still the future. I told him he better go ahead and tank, but he says no. Fight. So it is what it is, man.
The future of what? You know what? As long as Dak there, the Giants have hope. So I appreciate Dak being there, because that means that the Cowboys is not going to make it past the first round. So it's good. It's good for my Giants, because they're about to revamp everything. They're going to get rid of, my homeboy over there, Daniel Jones, with he always like he got the stupid face on. Like something happened to him. However, so Dak remaining there, they really have no choice, to be honest. He's in New York right now, about to go to surgery probably on Wednesday. And once he get that surgery, that's a wrap for him for the season. And this is the second time that happened. It's all busted.
Well, I got some take on that too. I mean, Micah Parsons basically gave him the boo, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? He gave him right there outside the apartment. You know what I'm saying? Boo, do your thing. Go get your stuff. Do your thing, though. That's what he basically told McCarthy, which is highly disrespectful. I mean, extraordinarily disrespectful to treat that man that way. But I think that Jerry planned on getting rid of him at the end of the season anyway. Even if it was 13 wins, I think he was done, unless he got to a divisional round with little to nothing, right? So, but if you talk about a head coach, I should probably go younger, I would think. That's the new trend, right?
No, that's definitely not the new trend. But what do you think? That is your second bad take of the night. But what do you think about Dak being top 10 quarterback? You really believe that he could be arguably top 10 quarterback in the league?
He's had potential for
right now. Do you think Dak Prescott is top 10 quarterback?
With his hamstring torn off the bone? No.
With his skill set, they just say he's healthy.
Top 10 regular season, right?
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
Well, that's why the Cowboys ain't winning no Super Bowls, because y'all all believe in horrible quarterbacks. Clearly. Aaron O, do you think Dak Prescott is better than the Washington Commanders?
No.
Quarterback?
No, he's not better than Jaden Daniels. I don't like the Washington Redskins, or I shouldn't say Washington, the Washington football team, wherever the heck they call themselves.
Commanders, sir.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
On their name.
Yeah.
Bears ass.
Quarterback is good. He has touch. He has that it factor. He knows how to lead the receiver. He throws he throws the football extremely well. He's extremely young though. It's a short amount of film that we have on him. We wasn't expecting this. I need to see things like this duplicated over multiple seasons before I jump past there. But he's playing way better than Dak Prescott was playing up until this point. So I could make the argument that the Dak is no longer a top 10 quarterback using the sample of the Gauda games that he played up until this point. Also,
I believe Mr. Daniels, his next opponent, I believe he's going to just pass his way through that next opponent as well. I believe they're playing a pretty good team coming up in the next week, upcoming week. And I believe he's going to whoop that team's ass, to be honest. Do you know what team that is, ADS? Do you know what team Washington's playing this Sunday coming up?
Hold on.
I wonder. Emro, have you any idea who?
And my guess, I heard that they're playing the division leader. So the team that's ahead of them in their division, they're going to be playing them.
Eagles. Yeah.
I don't believe that they will be able to beat the division leader. There's too many reasons for that. We'll get into that maybe later on during the show. But I definitely want to get into the next segment of the show. So let's dive into let me see here. Steelers, Redskins. Okay.
Ooh.
That was a really, really good game. Came all the way down to the wire, back and forth. I want to know, did Russell Wilson prove to you that he can take this team all the way to the Super Bowl?
I absolutely believe that this is the rebirth and rebranding of Russell Wilson. Everybody in the NFL left that man for dead, especially what Denver did to him, which was completely downright dirty what they did to him. And he showed and proved that through injury and through it all, he can still lead a team. Mr. Optimistic has proven 3-0. And he's better than probably like the top 7 quarterbacks in the league right now with just those 3 games, leading the Pittsburgh Steelers, where we kind of written them off. We didn't think they was going to be playoff contenders, even though they got a hell of a coach. And so now he's rewriting it. The way how he dropped that damn bomb to the former Jet. So, I'm upset at that, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, you a Jets fan.
Well, that is what it is. I don't know how they put him off the goddamn side of the road, and he's just catching bombs. And it's just the way how he throw those goddamn, they almost like cameras where how they go up and just drop right into the receiver's hands. He put it only where his receiver can catch it. And hey, listen, that young man that he played some good games. Those were 4 great games that he played that he won for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it just shows how great Mike is and how much of a vision he has. He know that even though the young man didn't make no mistakes. He didn't cause no turnovers. However, he knew that Russell has the skill set and the experience to take them to a high level. With him playing, they scoring an extra 10 points a game. He put them in the Super Bowl contention talk. Without Russell, that wouldn't be happening. I absolutely believe they are Super Bowl contenders. I believe in Russell Wilson, and Sierra will be pregnant by the end of the year.
Lads, you believe Russell Wilson has made the Pittsburgh Steelers Super Bowl contenders?
I need to see more. I just do. I really thought that Commanders game was great. I thought it was an awesome game. But this schedule is about to really get stiffer soon. They got the Ravens. Who else the Steelers got? It's all like, 4 or 5 of those are in the division. Browns and like the Bengals and a couple other teams too, I think. One outside the division. So for me, watching them play, I've really enjoyed watching Russ come back. I've enjoyed that part because I thought he was mistreated in Denver too. I thought they really kind of dogged him out. But it'll be interesting to see, how this all plays out for him at the end of the year, because was he on a 1 year or 2 year contract with them?
I didn't even look at that part of the contract.
Yeah, and Justin is supposed to be the future. So, I mean, I don't know how this plays out in the offseason for those two if he does make it to a Super Bowl. Do I think he can make it to a Super Bowl? Possibly, depending on what his path is to the Super Bowl. Because remember, they got to go through Kansas City. And
sir, we don't want to hear about no possibles. We want to hear definitive positions, sir. Yes or no?
No.
Okay.
What's your thoughts? You buying or you selling on Russell Wilson?
I think Russell Wilson is back at what he does best towards the end of his career, where he throws the deep ball exceptionally well. If you watch how he throws downfield, he is one of the best downfield throwers of the football. That's where he excels at. He also excels at taking care of the football. So I believe he's going to not make the big mistake that the Steelers don't need him to do, because they're pretty much a top 5 defense. They're one of the better defenses in the league. I will say this. I don't believe they have enough offensive superpower to beat the more polished offensive teams. I do believe their defense is good, but I don't believe that they are going to be close enough to the Super Bowl. I believe they will compete. They will make the playoffs. I don't see them in the Super Bowl at all. The Ravens are too much to deal with. Lamar Jackson is balling out of his mind. They're in the same division. There's no way that they're getting past the Ravens. So absolutely not. But I do believe he's brought hope back. I believe he's brought stability. I believe he's redeemed himself, got back his decent name. He's playing some really good football, but no, he is not enough to get the job done.
I think Russell is enough to get the job done. I think the Steelers are enough to get the job done. I think their defense is strong enough to compete with the top offensive teams of this year. Mm-hmm. And also, I think they run the game is solid. They got a nice two running backs that is doing very well. They got a big man. He's very Marshawn Lynch-esque. And I believe last time when Russell had a team that was similar to this Pittsburgh Steelers with a great coach the same way. And I think that's another thing as well, is that we cannot just outcount Mike as well. Like, granted, they are losing in talent in a lot of places against a team like Baltimore. But, however, Mike is somebody that is very strategic, and he is going to find a way, I believe, if they make it to the playoffs and whoever they go against, they are going to be serious trouble, because Mike is a hell of a coach. And they follow him. And now Russell has got the locker room. He literally got the locker room with this win, especially with goddamn, I can't believe that catch that Pickens caught too. That was absolutely amazing how he turned his body in the air. And that shows how much faith they have in a quarterback. They really caught, he was like a damn cat. He turned the opposite way in midair.
Yeah. No.
Legit.
It ain't happening. Absolutely not, sir. I don't.
Legit.
So if that's your argument, right? Russell Wilson took over after how many games in the season?
6. They was 4-2.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be in the MVP votes. So yeah, no, I just don't see it. I don't see it. I think the defense is legit. I think they're going to have trouble against more of the elite type of offensives, but no, he's not enough.
And plus, I think we cannot negate the fact of Mike Tomlin, how much better he is than the majority of the head coaches in the goddamn league.
Yeah,
we could just skip past that part.
He's a great leader. I think Ferber, all that. I don't think he dials up. I believe the defense is his mentality. He's not an offensive-minded coach, from what I can tell. So I'm sorry. I don't see it. I think he's a great coach, but no.
So what teams is going to stop this team from making it to the Super Bowl?
There's multiple teams that will stop them from making the Super Bowl, but on the top of my head, easily is going to be the Chiefs and Ravens. Easily.
I think they have a good possibility to beat the Chiefs. To be honest, you definitely count them out, but they have not been beating anybody, respectively, with any kind of, and nobody's scared of them. No kind of intimidation. They have not dominated any team in the NFL, even the bad teams. They come close. They almost lost to Bo Nix, which was insane to me. So I think as the team get more faith in the Pittsburgh Steelers, they find ways to be dirty and win games. Even when they won their Super Bowls, they wasn't that great. They figured out a way to get it nice and dirty, swing no damn flags around like a goddamn helicopter, and they find a way. I believe in the Steelers.
Yeah, you on the island by yourself.
And I believe it's 22-1. I might be a betting man. I might be a betting man.
You'd be a horrible one.
Speaking of those Kansas City Chiefs, do you think they actually got a legitimate shot at going first undefeated? With them playing the Bills, being underdogs against the Bills this Sunday.
Going undefeated is one of the more difficult tasks there is in the NFL. The last team to do it in the regular season, I believe it was the Patriots, and they lost in the Super Bowl.
I wonder who they lost to. Damn.
I don't recall. I have a very bad fuzzy memory. If it ain't the Eagles, I don't know nothing. Some of those Manning boys. So the thought is this: I do not believe they will go undefeated. If that's your question, I don't believe they're going to be able to pull it off. No.
Shit. What about you, ADS? You think they're going to be able to pull off an undefeated season?
I think that they might be able to do it.
Whoa. Interesting. I mean,
here we no. I don't want to hear might, sir. Did you hear what I said? I said no. It might rain tomorrow. It might not. We don't do that in the hot seat over here, my friend. Come on now. Take a position.
Nothing but absolutes, right?
that's right.
So let's start with this. You got the Bills November 17th. Okay, that's probably gonna be one of your toughest games. And you beat the Bills 3 times. You know, you beat them a few times already, right? So I think they can beat them.
It's a 4-3. Kansas City beat them 4 times and 3 times to Josh Allen.
There you go. Then after that, you got the Panthers. Now they might sneak you, but I seriously doubt that, right? Panthers put up a fight, but they're done. After that, you got the Raiders.
So that's a yes or no before you go ahead with the
yes. After that, you got the Chargers. Yes.
So you're saying undefeated.
They can run the ball.
I don't think they're gonna go undefeated. I don't think by the time when they start really understand that they're in the playoffs, they're just gonna play for the number 1 spot. They're gonna start resting people. They're gonna rest their players and give them a break so they can recharge and get rejuvenated. They're gonna play them a little bit, but they're not gonna play them as much. So they might lose a game or 2 at the end of the season. Because I don't think they're really more concerned about I don't think they are going to attempt a undefeated 3-peat. I think they care more about the 3-peat than an undefeated 3-peat. And they actually have a legitimate chance to make history of being the first team ever, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Aaron. No, would they be the first team to ever 3-peat in the NFL?
In the Super Bowl era, yes.
Whoa. So I think they care way more about that than an undefeated. But if they was to go undefeated and 3-peat, forget about it. We got the reverse goat in the NFL.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
No 3-peat neither.
Now they got 2 tough teams on the way out. 2 real tough teams on the way out. They got the Texans. Nico Collins should be back. And then their last game of the year is against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Absolutely not. So who is going to stop the Kansas City? They always find a way to win the game. It doesn't matter if it comes all the way down to special teams. They picked on that poor man, number 54, with his bad technique. They picked on him all 3 kicks. They got 2 blocks out of his ass. And I don't know how that that's how special teams go. They look for the fish. He was the fish. They knew that block was not by luck. It was by design because they are very well coached team and they know exactly how to win and not allow them to lose. I think is not enough being said about how they find the ways to win.
Yeah, that's fine and dandy, sir. But if you watch the games, Patrick Mahomes is still a great quarterback, but he's missing throws that he normally is dead on. He's not seeing the field as dominant as he used to see the field. I understand in the NFL a win is a win, but to see a Super Bowl defending champs eke out a victory by field goal at best against one of the worst teams in the NFL, while their offense, they can't go undefeated because we've really never seen a team go undefeated like that with just straight defense besides the Bears. Since the Bears, maybe you could argue the Ravens, even though they were undefeated, but I just don't see it. There's too much competition, and Patrick Mahomes he's not playing at the elite level he would need to play to overcome not being an powerhouse on offense. I don't see it.
So this is how I see it. I believe if we're going to compare it, Andy Reid is Phil Jackson and Patrick Mahomes is Michael Jordan. I think the NFL got the LeBron James first and the longevity in Tom Brady. Played forever. I think they got LeBron first, and now we are seeing the Michael Jordan era for the NFL. And Patrick Mahomes is Michael Jordan. Yes, and he's going to be the first 3-peat. He's going to sit out 1 year, maybe play some baseball because he was pretty good at that too, and come back and do it again.
So basically what you're saying is that he's going to lose the first 8-9 years of his career, then did a 3-peat, family issues, and then 3-peat again? Absolutely not, sir.
He about to get his first 3-peat.
There will be no 3-peat in this NFL. I'm going to tell you why. It's almost impossible for any team to make it to the Super Bowl without injuries to key players. This team cannot overcome these injuries. If injuries happen to any of the better players, they are done. They cannot overcome these injuries.
Now, keeping it real now, Aaron, you leaving out a lot of factors here, brother, that you ain't putting into play. They're getting back Pacheco in a week or two. So if they get back to Bills, they get back Pacheco. Those crazy legs get back out nobody. There. And then all of a sudden, D-Hop is starting to heat up too. If you haven't noticed, 2 touchdowns, no saying the last game, 86 yards, but 2 touchdowns the same. Brother, the Chiefs are starting to bring it all in. Kelsey's catching balls again out there. Brother.
Right, so let me ask y'all this. So did they go undefeated last year?
Absolutely not.
That was their worst year, and they still came out on top.
Okay. I would say this. They came out on top. That's true. A lot of other teams got better, and these people don't fear this team. These people, like, there used to be times when you step on the field, you have some fear. They don't have no fear in that, man. They don't have no fear in those Chiefs. They don't.
That's because when people go out and play against the champs, right? They have in heightened, people play to their competition. So when you play against a scrub team, usually the good team, they play on the scrub type level as well. And when you play a heightened team, you play on in heightened level. As we're going to see coming this Sunday, how great this game most likely is going to be, because every time them 2 quarterbacks go head to head, is usually some kind of classic anyway. I love to see those 2 players play. So we cannot negate the fact that, plus, when you have a 2-time champion, that people all want to test their skill against you. So they're going to play their best football, even if you playing your worst football. So that means on Sunday, they played mediocre, and they still was able to be a pretty solid team. with a very good quarterback. And Bo Nix. Decent quarterback. Young quarterback. Young stud.
Bo Nix.
Yeah.
They getting too lucky for my liking. Okay. It's, in my opinion, too many close games. I haven't seen a dominant performance. That's a problem for me when you're talking about for sure definitive they gonna win and they the best in the league. I need some dominance, and I don't see that. I don't see the dominance in them offensively, and I don't even see it defensively. Although I think they're one of the better teams, they are not the number one defense. So no.
However, their defense is good enough to make it through. They were man, I gotta look at this. They are their defense is good enough. That's number one. You always have Patrick, and you have one of the best coaches. Is there ever coach the goddamn football? They are going to three-peat. I think we are negating the fact how they are finding ways to win. They use special teams to win. And I understand that dominance looks good and it looks scary, but ain't nobody scared of no goddamn Detroit Lions if it's going to be in the Super Bowl. Ain't nobody afraid. And that's why I think it's going to be. It's going to be Detroit versus Kansas City, and Kansas City is going to be the first team to ever three-peat, and he's going to make history. That's
Sharon, now, we got to say it out loud. Now, Detroit's got a special defense. They have a spectacular defense out there.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. Their defense is not ranked in the top 15.
Might be underrated, but what I'm seeing is some good football on defense.
Yo, this is the hot seat.
You cannot just walk past that.
Okay. Everybody else is wrong, Aaron. You right. Go ahead. You right. You know, say you right, Aaron. You know it. You know
what I said was they don't have a top 15 defense. Now, anything beyond that, it ain't about me always being right, sir. I'm just talking about specifically that. Now, you may make your magnificent argument in the hot seat about how they have a special defense. Continue on, sir.
3 games. People forget about the game they had against Jordan Love with the 2 picks. That was a good game for me when I saw that. Detroit played Green Bay, and because Jared Goff didn't look as great either that game. This last game, Jared Goff threw 5 picks, and they still win.
Yep,
brother.
No, so
that's
but
because
it's
they
a
have
problem,
a
ADS.
defense.
So they can't do that against Kansas City because guess what? Kansas City got a top 5 defense. Regardless of what I want to say about Kansas City, they have a top 5 defense. And as far as I understand, defense wins games. Every Super Bowl winning team, they had a top 10 defense, and they in the top 5. So they in that upper echelon. They have the skill set. Only thing that they have to worry about is what every team has to worry about is injury. As long as they don't get no crazy injury bug, and the people can see through it because other teams are going to have that same injury bug at the end of the year, they are going to three-peat because they have the defense that is great. They have a goddamn coach that is phenomenal, and they have the Michael Jordan of quarterbacks, which is Patrick Mahomes.
Let me say this. The Lions defense is not good at all. That is actually their detriment. They have one of those defenses that is solid on third downs. So when it comes to getting off the field, if they get you to third down, they are going to get off the field. They're the best at that. I give them that. They're the best third down defense up until this point. Right now, there's a couple problems that I have with the Lions going to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna just tell you why that's not gonna happen. But we just have to be honest. They won last game after throwing 5 picks because they went up against a team that was depleted offensively. CJ Stroud was down his top 2 receivers, I believe. I don't believe many people can overcome losing your top 2 receivers, i.e. look at how Patrick Mahomes looks without elite receivers around him. He don't look like 50 touchdown Patrick Mahomes. And he did that when there were not 17 games in the season. And he's not even on pace to do that now. Like, think about it. We've added an extra game to the season, and he did 50 and 16. So no, sir. That's just not, I just don't see that. But let me finish up on the Lions. I want you guys to look at who their quarterback is. I want you guys to realize The last time we had a quarterback win the Super Bowl that was not mobile was Tom Brady. The offense have changed so much. The league has shifted so quickly. I do not believe a quarterback that cannot scramble will have the ability to win the Super Bowl. It's not going to happen.
Wow. But didn't Jared, do he have a ring himself?
No. You're thinking about the other guy. That's what
he made it to the Super Bowl with Tom Brady here in Atlanta, and Tom Brady beat him out.
That's right. I'm thinking about Jared Goff. I think the Detroit Lions is a great Cinderella story. I think that they're gonna have a good chance of making it to the Super Bowl because people are afraid of the Detroit Lions for some reason. They have this so-called like this magic in the air about their aura. They just find a ways to win by throwing 5 picks. I mean, 2 of them we can kind of say wasn't really Jared's fault. He threw 2 Hail Marys, right? So those we can kind of like excuse. Like, all right, you still did 3 in one game. That is not going to take it. And you're going against a top 5 defense. Clearly, it ain't going to work out. So I don't believe the Detroit Lions is going to win a Super Bowl this year. However, it'd be a great Cinderella story. It'd be a great seller for the NFL. And, of course, the NFL want to see Kansas City in the Super Bowl because that's what they are going to do because they got the greatest quarterback. They got the Michael Jordan of quarterbacks. They got the Phil Jackson of goddamn coaches. And they got a top 5 defense. They have a great shot of doing the 3-peat, first ever. And then he's going to go play some baseball.
I don't know if he can. I said yes to this, but I'm also thinking about the NFL now that you mentioned this, right? Because if he wins a 3-peat, what else is left?
What you mean, what else is left?
He still don't have 8 championships, so there's a lot.
It's a lot to do. It's a lot to do still.
Yeah. There's like now what it's adding on. It depends what drives him, by the way. Some people's minds are already made up whether he's the GOAT or not.
So you don't believe that the NFL got it the opposite way? They got the LeBron James first, and now they getting a Michael Jordan? You think Tom Brady is the Michael Jordan of quarterbacks? Because in my opinion, I think it's the other way around. I think he got the longevity. And Patrick Mahomes, he just got the full pack. He's the only one that came from college, being a gunslinger, and he's figured out a way to make it translate in the pro leagues as well. Everybody else, it ain't working out so good for them.
I mean, do not mistake. I really believe the brother is the best quarterback of all time in Patrick Mahomes.
Ooh. Now,
remember, though, Tom Brady didn't get his first championship till when? 1999? And that was the gate, remember? Forgot what gate that was. They had about 5 or 6 of them.
Deflate gate.
No. That was after. This was the backwards pass or something like that. I forgot what it was called. But and then from there, that was his first championship, and he went 2 years or something like that. About winning another one, 2 or 3 years, something like that. And then between there, because remember,
what's the point you're trying to say?
Up to 2008, Tom Brady only had, I think, 2 rings at that point, or 2 or 3 rings. Yeah. So Patrick has been in the league far less time than he has, and he's on his way to a 3-peat at this point. If he wins this 3-peat, what does that leave for the other NFL quarterbacks? Because at that point, he's the best of all time, and nobody's going to want to watch anybody. I mean, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people are just going to be watching him at that point.
I think you're not really familiar with how sports work. That's why we just don't let anybody sit in this seat. They are professionals. They get paid to play year after year after year. After you win the championship, and if you win 3 in a row, if you don't win the 4th, then somebody else is the champ now. That's how sports actually work. So you may look at it because you might watch sports to go, oh, who has the best stats and the most rings ever? Because that's all. But some people want to see greatness sustain, continue play. If he wins a 3-peat and retires, you think he's going to be the GOAT? No. So there's a lot of football that has to be played. Okay. We don't even know what his moment is. So there's a lot that he still has to build out. But as far as being one of the greatest, he's already cemented that. But we're talking about GOAT legendary status.
Yes.
That's different.
So do you believe that he's going to be you don't believe he's going to be able to surpass? He's not in a trajectory to surpass, to be the greatest quarterback of all time?
No, I do not believe he's going to win eight championships, if that's your question.
I'm thinking six championships.
So how many does he have now?
Three.
He has 3. About to get his 4th one. So that makes him halfway to the list. So the only way he could beat Tom Brady is by having more championships? No, that's not how we're going to solidify the GOAT. Because Russell in basketball got 13 rings. Nobody look at him as no damn GOAT. Mike got 6. So it's a little bit more to being a GOAT, just championships. I think with 4 and better, he's still going to be in the GOAT conversation. I believe they're going to say that Patrick had stiffer competition than Tom. I think Tom is awesome, but we're going to look at his athleticism. I ain't never seen Tom Brady run nobody over the way how Patrick Mahomes did a couple of weeks ago. I ain't never seen Tom Brady fall on the floor, lateral with the goddamn ground, and throw a 50-yard dime. It's just that so-called, he was a horrible tight end, and he dropped it in the Super Bowl, which was insane. I couldn't believe he even got that pass off. It's insane. Patrick Mahomes is going to absolutely be the Michael Jordan of quarterbacks. He's going to take Tom Brady's spot, without a doubt.
Well, that's not the segment that we're covering today. So that's for a different day. Okay. I want to get into your football team, the New York Football Jets.
Damn.
Who did the Jets play this weekend? What team was it? I'm not even sure what team it was. What team did the Jets play this weekend? It was it had to be a team.
It was the damn Cardinals.
Oh, the Cardinals. There we go. The Cardinals, right? The Cardinals. Okay. They have the shortest winning quarterback in the league. Okay. And he's tiny, just in stature. After
he ran a 4.2 in college, by the way, though. He's pretty fast. Pretty goddamn fast.
I don't know about no 4.2, but he is fast. My question to you is do you believe Aaron Rodgers is playing worse than any other quarterback in the league?
Worse than any quarterback in the league is a strong question. No, he's not playing worse than anybody in the league. But he is having he's having the most difficult time to adjust into his team. I believe that Aaron Rodgers, he still has the skill set. I think he's not able to plant his foot the way how he's comfortable coming off that injury. Him and Adams are not 100% aligned yet with what he's anticipating Devontae to do. He just got rid of that young boy that just caught a beautiful touchdown. Also, the offense coordinator, they got to allow him to just throw the goddamn ball deep. Let the man fucking ball out. Stop throwing these. Everybody in the fucking league knows that you're going to do that 1 second slant. Stop doing it. It's over. Everybody knows that trick. It ain't going to work no more. So they need to open up their playbook, let him throw some balls down the field, make him a real threat. So this way you can play off the play action. So this way you can get the run again. They have a decent running back. They need to figure out a way. They just fired the head coach, so they still figuring out a lot of things. So I do not want to blame this solely on Aaron Rodgers. He is having a tough time with his learning curve. He is.
I do blame Aaron Rodgers. He got your boy fired. Let's just start with that. That horrible offensive coordinator, Chad, what's his face? You know what I'm saying? He's got demoted. And now it just looks dysfunctional out there. It looks funky. You know what I mean? They beat the Texans, but, man, they look bad. So, but is he the worst quarterback in the league right now? Trevor Lawrence has had some really bad games, too. Caleb is struggling as a rookie, but he's a rookie, so we're not going to talk about him. Hell, who else, man? There's a couple others in the league, too, that I think that Derek Carr has looked
Aaron Rodgers is not the worst quarter. So you don't think Aaron Rodgers is playing the worst neither?
They beat the Texans. He looked okay at the end. Last game they looked like trash.
It's okay to answer the question. Do you believe Aaron Rodgers is the worst quarterback in the league?
Oh, it's hard. That's a hard question. Between him and Caleb and Trevor, is he the top? Is he the worst out of the three?
Yes, that's the question.
I still give it to Trevor. Trevor's horrible.
Okay, Aaron. Oh, do you believe that Aaron Rodgers is the worst quarterback in the NFL?
No, it's not even close. He's playing way better than half the league. People overreact to what they believe he actually is, right? So he is not playing the Aaron Rodgers impact that we remember him as, but he's still playing middle of the road football. He's not at the bottom tier as the top three or the bottom three or the bottom four worst quarterbacks in the league. We can go through all the teams and point out to how many people he's actually better than and playing better than. So that's not even close. Like the fact that the Panthers quarterback have an option, this shouldn't even be a conversation. But I do believe that when you come off an injury that he's coming off of, right, which is an Achilles injury, right? I believe that's what happened to him. That is one of the most difficult injuries to return from. That particular injury used to end careers, especially in the NBA. It is a career ender. Two players have kind of come back from it. Kevin Durant is the only one that's come back and looked remotely like himself, if not a slightly better. He's the only one to ever do that. So you guys, you have to take into understanding that normally the first year after an injury, nobody plays well. It's usually the second year after to where they kind of possibly get better. But the man is much older now. He has less mobility, and he's always been the type of person to go, I'm not going to throw interceptions, so I'm going to, throw the ball out of bounds more and take less risks in a lot of situations. So I think the Jets defense is not as good as they believe it is. I believe they've given up on the season at this point. There's almost no pass. Yeah, the defense is not that good. It's overrated.
What do they rank in? I believe they top 5.
I don't give a damn if they top 5.
So being top 5 doesn't mean anything?
Not if you give up 31 points. So I get it, right? So when we look at top defenses, there's multiple ways to look at it, right? We can look at total defense, right, which is the amount of yards allowed, and they would rank there, right? Then it'd be touchdowns given up, then be third down efficiency, things like that, and then scoring defense, right? So I don't necessarily know where they rank all there. I do know that they rank top 5 in yards allowed. Totally fine. But they gave up 31 points. That's a lot of points to give up. It's a lot. If they was doing Baltimore Ravens, you could probably win with 13 points. So they're overrated. I don't believe they're as good as people project them to be. And as the season goes on, it's going to get even worse. And so if you think they're in the top 5 now, they're not going to finish the season in the top 5, sir.
So I think the problem is sometimes when the offense is just playing poorly, we put too much on the defense. Because if the Jets were to figure out to score 32 points and pull a game out, and the defense would have made one play at the end of the game and block a punt or block a this or get a fumble, a forced fumble or interception at the end of the game to decide the game, all of a sudden we would say the defense is good. It's great. They kept up. It's just a competitive game. So I think just because it was a blowout, people's going to look at the defense and look, especially Sauce. Sauce is looking like a real hard.
Yeah, so that's fine. But the point being is that when your defense is really good, you usually lose like 17-3 and you just couldn't score. Right? You might lose 14-3 or 14-10. And we be like, man, that offense got to give them something. They holding it down. 30 points? No.
At the same time, the offense is a part of your defense as well because you got to play that field position. You cannot keep giving up bad field position by going 3 and out, kicking the long punt, and letting them be around the 50-yard line to start off. You can't do that. The offense got to help out the defense by pushing those guys back. That is another issue. that is making the defense look weaker than what they really are. It's all about the field position, and the Jets. They can't keep doing this 3-and-out and putting so much pressure on the defense. They tiring out their own defense by doing these 1-2-3s and getting the defense right back on the field. They got to help their defense out. This is the reason why a team like Kansas City is doing so good, because Patrick Mahomes, he keeps the defense off the damn field, and Aaron Rodgers and that offensive coordinator and the Jets and the coach, they got to figure it out how to keep their defense off the field a little bit longer. Give them a rest.
That's fine. There's no argument there. Like I said, and you can book it, they will not have a top 5 defense at the end of the season. They will not have it.
So has Aaron Rodgers lost the GOAT conversation at this point? Like, is it like he is not going to be even in the conversation of GOAT talk?
His body of work, right? I think that he can still sustain some of that conversation, but one bad season has determined a man's whole career, right?
We ain't talking about just one season. He only got one Super Bowl.
What is his position?
He don't know.
Come on, lads. You're on the hot seat, man. Take a position, sir.
No. I don't think he goes into the conversation, but I think he'll still be Hall of Fame though by the end of this. He's already Hall of Fame, but I think he'll still get in the Hall of Fame. So first round ballot.
Yeah, so he was never in the conversation for the GOAT ever.
What?
Never. He's never been in the conversation for the GOAT. He's been in the conversation for best passer of the football, which is a difference of being the best. Okay, so I do believe he will be in the conversation forever as one of the best throwers of the football. Touch passes, little flings here and there, creativity. He is just special, and he has been that way for a long, extended period. He's won multiple MVPs. He's done some really, really great things in this league. So he will forever be in that conversation, but he was never in the conversation for the GOAT, ever.
Damn.
Nobody with one Super Bowl can be in the conversation for the GOAT except for Brett Favre. And then we already know he's been dusted out of that position at this point. So, yeah, no, he's not. He's not. What are your thoughts?
I think he gave us some of the most exciting Hail Marys we ever seen in touchdowns, passing, scrambling. He's just a certified stud, and I believe at one point he was a part of the GOAT conversation. He was the opposer to, but clearly he's going to be the Clyde Drexler of the NFL, right? He's like, hey, you really good, you really can do it. However, he never got over that hump. He lost more playoff games than he won, which is a problem, especially in the most important ones. We do have an argument that his team wasn't ready, and he just dragged them there, and he just kept them afloat with his skill set. So him being a GOAT, no, I do not think Aaron Rodgers would be considered any type of GOAT unless he could figure out a way to turn the Jets over like how Joe Namath did way back in the day and become a Super Bowl champion with the goddamn New York Jets. Otherwise than that, he's going to be one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever touch the football. However, his next stop is the Minnesota Vikings. He's going to follow Brett Favre all the way through. It seems like he's about to take Sam Darnold's spot again in the next year or two. That's my prediction for Aaron. Strange career.
Unfreaking believable. Okay. Let's so here's a better question. Will he be on the Jets next year?
I really don't think the Jets have a choice. Who else is they going to? We got third string. Who's left? We don't got no quarterbacks left.
Jordan Travis.
Right. So we don't have no quarterbacks left. So we have no choice but to hang on to Aaron, and hopefully he can get over his injury and he can start playing like the quarterback that we thought he was going to be, being like the 5th rank of all-time passing. We need you to be that again. And that's why he was somewhat considered a GOAT, right? Like, we need you to get back to being ranked number 5 in touchdown passes.
You know what's funny, Sharon? We started the show, and we was having a lot of fun. We was making fun of the Cowboys. You remember that? I have to ask you a question, sir. Who's won a Super Bowl more recent, the Jets or the Cowboys?
The Jets.
You know, you come on this show and you laugh at the Cowboys. Sir, you are not in no position to laugh at the Cowboys. You are a Jets fan. You're a Jets fan, sir. Now, stop this. Don't you ever do this again. Let me laugh at those downright bad Cowboys. It's my job. As a Jets fan, I'm gonna tell you this. I believe it's about a 95% chance this is Aaron Rodgers last year. Jets. I don't believe he may return with the Jets because I don't think they're going to want him back. I think that this has been a failed 2-3 year process now at this point.
1 year, really.
Okay, you could call it 1 year if you want to, but yeah, I don't know.
1 year because they still had Sam Darnold, and Sam Darnold still did Sam Darnold things.
Sam Darnold is playing really, really well with Minnesota right now.
No, he is not. Minnesota is just a good football team, and then they could put any.
What team is good without a good quarterback? Which team is this?
The Minnesota Vikings. The San Francisco 49ers. You see them. Brock Purdy he made it to the Super Bowl being horrible. The first time that the Eagles won a Super Bowl in I don't know how many years, who was this quarterback? Who was him? I don't even know his name. Do you remember his name, sir?
Yeah, they have a statue for him. He completed the Philly special. All right. When you speaking to people that's won Super Bowls and been to Super Bowls and been competitive for the last 5 years, it's a different conversation, sir. Now, I understand you're in pain. I understand it hurts your soul to be a New Yorker and all that ego y'all got and y'all the best this and best that. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir. I don't believe it. I don't believe Aaron Rodgers is going to come back. I think he may be done. I think people have got to the point where they believe anybody can continue to play in their 40s because of what Tom Brady did. Tom Brady's special. Tom Brady has made the greatest sacrifice that you can make in sports, even to the point to give up his family to chase greatness. So I'm sorry to tell you, Tom Brady's diet is different. Tom Brady didn't live off just talent alone. He worked his butt off, and he knew he had to work harder than anybody else. Aaron Rodgers is gifted. Gifted. Physically, he's quick. He can move. Not anymore, but he's gifted, sir. And guys that are gifted don't tend to have extended careers. You have to be gifted plus extremely a hard worker, and that doesn't typically go with a lot of people. Usually your gift allows you to get 10 years out of the league like a Cam Newton, sir. So, no, I don't believe that Aaron Rodgers will be back with the Jets. I hope to be wrong, but it's been a bad situation for them, and I think it's a lot to deal with, and I don't know if he wants to deal with it.
I think he does I believe he wants to deal with it. That's why he went and got his favorite receiver and tried to reconnect with him. He tried to do, reconnect just the way how Tom Brady did with Gronk, and it's just not working right now because it's brand new. He got to trust those other young receivers. He wanted Devontae to just come in and just show him like, hey, look, and then so the other receivers just pick it up, but they're not picking it up fast enough. However, I believe he's going to want to do it one more time when he's going to feel he's a little bit more healthier. That leg is a little bit stronger, and he's going to be able to trust that he'll be able to make plays with his feet. Because as of right now, he's staying in that pocket. He's not even attempting to make a play with his feet. And that's not how Aaron Rodgers plays. He does not play with strictly just pocket passing. He is a foot. He makes plays with his feet. Yes, he makes plays with his feet, and I believe we're going to get one more year. And Aaron Rodgers is going to show who he is. And we might even pick up somebody on the other side of the field for him to throw to.
Yeah.
And we've been struck with a bunch of injuries in the beginning of the year, especially on the defensive side.
My thoughts on this, Sharon, is that you might see Aaron Rodgers start to look good the last 4 games of the season. You might see it all start to come together for Aaron and he start playing decent ball. My thought on next season is that he plays to game 6, and either you let Jordan Travis in or you go get Justin Fields. Because I don't think he'll last a whole full
Absolutely
season.
Not no Justin Fields. What's wrong with you?
Absolutely not. Neither one of those quarterbacks is they willing. He's already in contract for one more year. They're gonna let him get one more shot.
Justin Fields is not going to be able to be good in this league. I mean, I'm happy to be wrong. I just don't believe he's going to be able to do it because he's so fast and he relies on his feet too much. He doesn't have the instincts currently. Now, if he sits down somewhere and practices his butt off, because he looks like he has a good head on his shoulders, he looks like he wants to work hard. If he can shift that, maybe he got a chance. But right now, no.
Yeah, we can't. He can't get sent to another. No, especially not the Jets right now. Absolutely not. I believe in the 100 passer rating that Aaron Rodgers is. I believe that the 5th ranking touchdown passer in the NFL's history. I believe in Aaron Rodgers. He has the one of the best touchdown to interception ratios. I believe Aaron Rodgers is going to come back next year and he's going to give us the great hope that we want. And when I go to the stadium, I'm screaming at the top of my lungs with the fire marshal, screaming, J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. We don't go to the playoffs next year. That's what I see happening.
Whew, you sound more delusional than a Dallas Cowboys fan. And that's almost impossible to do. No, sir, that's not going to happen, sir. You don't have a chance, a puncher's chance in hell. It's not going to happen, sir. Let me get this from you. So, can I get your Super Bowl picks that you have? Who's going to?
Yes, I'm going with Kansas City, Detroit Lions.
And what's your reasoning behind the Kansas City pick, and what's your reason behind the Detroit pick?
What I see for both teams, they have this great aura about their team that they seem like they want to figure out ways to beat teams even when they are down and out. Even when they throw 5 picks, they are going to figure out a way to win the game. Even when Patrick Mahomes wasn't as great as a quarterback rating, passer rating on the last game, they figured it out through special teams how to get it done. These teams right here, they are figuring out ways to win beyond just their quarterback, beyond just their defense, beyond just their coach. They are finding ways. They are chasing the plays. It doesn't matter. They're willing to go down to the wire. It shows their resiliency that they are not afraid to attack the ball on either side and play down to the wire. So I believe those two teams got it this year.
Lads, what's your picks?
Kansas City, Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Now I need your reasoning behind it, sir.
I think that Green Bay has a much higher up ceiling than what they've been showing out there. They are kind of goofy, but when they get together, they are sharp when they are good.
Sir, is this hope that you're using? Hope?
No, it's just based off what I've seen out of them.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
You saying Green Bay passed the eye test? That's insane to me. That's insane. They're not even. Are they even a wild card?
Let's see what their record is to be sure. But their record, I think, was 5 and something. Hold on.
So you don't even know if they're a wild card? You talking about they're gonna go to the Super Bowl?
I don't know who's a wild card yet. Right now, we still wait for the end of the season. Ain't nothing but week 8, week 9.
What?
Yeah.
Do you watch football
every week?
That's insane. That's absolutely insane. I don't think you know anything about football. I think you just watch because you like the color of the jerseys and you like to see people run into each other. You don't actually.
I can tell you one thing. Y'all can talk down about my football skill, but I'll be right. And then let's just keep it real on the second hand. Why y'all niggas wear matching sweaters? What are y'all? Brothers? Cousins? What the hell?
That's your best joke.
Yeah. Happy Veterans Day, niggas. Good night.
He got to be from New York. He got to be from New York. Listen, that hot seat is hot, man. We'll let the audience decide. Put a poll out there and see if they thought lads can handle the hot seat today.
Oh man, that was insane.
That's insane. So let me give you my Super Bowl picks, okay? I am going to pick the Chiefs but they're not going to be undefeated. And then they're going to lose soon. All right, they're not going to lose in the last game for resting players. They're going to lose with their players healthy. But I believe that they're going to get to the Super Bowl. I think it's more entertaining that way. I believe it's going to be a rematch between them and the Eagles. However, I believe this time the Eagles will reign supreme. I think the Eagles have the ability to match them defensively. But offensively, it's night and day. The Eagles' offense is 10 times better than the Chiefs' offense. They're way more explosive. They have way more offensive weapons and options. They are finally – and people don't really understand because they don't watch football a lot. They don't understand that Jalen Hurts is under like his third freaking coordinator in 3 years. So he's learning multiple different offenses year over year. Just because your head coach is there does not mean that the offense is the same. So he's literally had to relearn a bunch of different offenses. And then if people know anything about Vic Fangio, his defense is very complex to learn. As y'all see now that people are gelling and figuring it out, you're looking like this is actually pretty good, and they got some really good skilled players. So I have the Eagles beating the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. A revenge of the game. I don't believe anybody in the NFC is better than the Eagles offensively and defensively. They're better than everybody in the NFC at least. The Niners, their defense is no longer elite. They're not what they used to be, and that's what usually got them. Detroit does not have an elite defense. They have a very decent defense that is very strong on third downs. As I said, they're the number one third down defense. They get off that field, so that is something they can hang their hat on. I think their quarterback's inability to be mobile will be their downfall. Once a team is able to generate enough pressure, and when you're under duress, that's when people like him make his mistakes. And I don't believe they're going to be able to beat the Eagles mano a mano. So I have the Eagles as the top team in the NFC. And I have the Baltimore Ravens and the Chiefs 1 and 1A in the AFC, with the Chiefs edging it because they have the better quarterback. So I think it's going to be a repeat. And that's if everything stays the same, meaning no injuries pop up or nothing crazy like that happen. That's how I foresee this season actually playing out.
Woo, the Eagles. Listen, first of all, I hope the Eagles don't make it. Because, I am a New York fan. So it's like anything Philly can't make it. I don't care if it's the Phillies, the Eagles, the Flyers, all of that. We cannot support none of that, right? Even when a couple of times when we needed the Eagles to do something good for us and beat a team so the Jets can make it, they couldn't do that. So no, fly, Eagles don't fly. Absolutely not.
Hey. It's not going to be enough, sir. It's not going to be enough.
But I do think the Eagles do have a interesting chance for sure. They, like you said, this year they are one of the top, if not the top. How can we argue that they are not the top?
You still mad about Saquon, huh?
Yes, I'm pretty upset because I ain't never seen nobody do a goddamn reverse hurdle in my life. All of a sudden, you doing reverse. You did a spin move, reverse hurdle for a first down? Absolutely not. Where was this vigor at Saquon when you was with us? God damn it, you stayed on the goddamn injured list. I'm starting to think it was fake injuries. It was his goddamn pinky toes and I don't know what was going on.
When you've never played winning football in your career as an NFL player, those little toe injuries, you'd be like, oh, coach, I'm still hurt. I can't go because y'all 4-11. You ain't trying to go out there. But when you play with a team that has an opportunity, when you have a winning culture like the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Eagles been winning for a long time. People forget we had Andy Reid who was winning. We just couldn't get over the hump, and people thought he wasn't the GOAT. And y'all found out once you get a quarterback, the game changed. And Andy Reid is arguably the second greatest coach of all time, and depending on who you argue with at this point, right? And so all it takes is that one victory to change the game and really flip things. But I just don't see anybody that can match up with the Eagles in the NFC. I like the Lions. I think they're going to be the battle, but I give the edge to the Eagles. I think the Eagles will be able to they're pretty much number one in pass defense. Like they're really, really good. The West defense is good. They're starting to get immense pressure. I want to say since the bye week, they're number one in sacks. So they're just playing elite football right now, and they're learning. They both remember a new offense and a new defense in one season. Not an easy thing to accomplish. So that's what I see with them. And with the Chiefs, it's just clear as day. They have the best quarterback. They have the best coach. When your coach can dial up plays like that and put people in position, it's hard to overcome that. But it's close because Lamar is special. He's the type of person you underestimate him. You put that monkey on his back, he may deliver. Or he may be the Peyton Manning for 7 years, 8, 9, 10 years and finally win type of thing. We'll see. But that's my Super Bowl picks as of now, and we'll stick with those.
Yeah, I really want to argue the Eagles so badly. I would have loved that they wasn't so good this year, but they are playing absolutely lights out right now. Even though I think they're going to lose to the Washington Commanders coming Sunday. I think I don't see Washington losing 2 in a row. And they're going to.
Let me tell you how you know they're going to lose, because they don't play on Sunday, sir.
When they play them next? Is it Thursday?
It's Thursday, sir.
It's a Thursday game? Ooh, so they're going to have plenty of rest.
There ain't no rest at all. This is a short week, sir. They playing through what? Today's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They play in 3 days, sir.
3 days. Oh, damn.
It's a short week, sir.
And that's why they're good. They got a nice young quarterback. He's able to go through that short week and be strong and get it through and get it done.
No, he's
not going to be nice and healed.
No. He's not. To me, I love our cornerback. He is special, man. He is special. I'm so glad how he was able to draft him. He's special. I watched a lot of football in my life. The kids all hawking skills. Like, he just eat and bleed football, man. He's special. So we finally hit with a cornerback. People are going to see he is really, really good, man. He is really, really good. Even as a rookie, I'm extremely impressed.
He's good.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Thursday's going to be very interesting. I usually don't root for the Commanders, but now I got a special interest to root for the Commanders for some reason this weekend, oddly enough. So that's going to make the game a little bit more interesting. I'm going to say the Commanders is going to win by 3. That's what I'm predicting. 27-24 Commanders.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with. What you got? What's your pick on the Commanders and the Eagles?
I'm going to say I see the game is going to be most likely like 24-17 Eagles. That's pretty much how I see it. I think the Eagles are going to win relatively easy by a touchdown. I don't see what Washington can do with the Eagles. They're not going to be able to stop our run. We're number 1 in the NFL in rushing between us and Baltimore. They're not going to be able to stop that. A.J. Brown is one of the most dominant receivers we've ever seen. He's top 3 easy. And some people could make the argument he's number 1.
Wow. Number 1 receiver? That's bold.
It's really not. He put an NFL record with like 6 straight 125-yard, games just last year. He just got injured this year. But when he's on the field, there's not a lot of receivers that really change the game in the league currently the way he does. I do like Chase. I like Chase out there with Cincinnati and Justin Jefferson, obviously.
Yes.
But it's between those three, and that's it. But I still think
CD Lamb.
No, CD Lamb is not in that conversation.
Shit.
CD Lamb is not in there. I like CD Lamb. He's not in that conversation.
And that's why Mr. Amon-Ra, he gonna bust y'all behinds when y'all do see him.
No, he's not. He's gonna have one. Look, they're probably gonna be playing from behind, so they're gonna throw the ball a lot. So you're gonna get a lot of under passes because our defense is set up not to allow the big play and let you have some under routes. But I believe our defensive line is going to be able to get some pressure without that quarterback being mobile. I think our offensive lineman may come back. Our Pro Bowl lineman may come back either this week or next. We don't know. He's been activated within the window, so there's some hope for that. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, but he's playing lights out. The Eagles is playing lights out. I kind of forgot about them because they kind of flying under the radar with all the spectacular games that happened this week. They just beat up on a team. So that's how come they're not really spoken about. They just beat up on some little kids. That's what it looked like. They just beat up on some little children. That's what it looked like. But Brown is cooking. I like Amon-Ra. I like Amon-Ra as well. He's doing very well. And as you said, the other two, Justin and Jamal Chase, they are just phenomenal. They just are.
Fair enough. Let's talk a little NBA. Can you handle that? You can talk a little bit of NBA?
I believe so.
Okay, fair enough. I want to know what the most shocking thing, or what is the most shocking thing about the NBA so far season for you so far?
The most shocking thing is the Milwaukee Bucks. How horrible they playing. I thought they was going to be a real contending-like team, and they just not found a way to gel these three mega stars. They could not make a big three for real. Even though Giannis, he did do a really good job the other night. I think he had 40-something points. However, they cannot mesh the Damian Lillard, and the Bucks is horrible this year.
To be honest,
crazy. They are like, I think they number 4. I think they rank 14. They horrible. They in second to last place. That's the most shocking thing to me. Seeing that everybody's healthy and they playing bad. What about you?
I would agree with that. That is the most striking thing. I would say this, based upon that position, because I think we both agree, Milwaukee Bucks, or you could actually, if you want to go like shocking sided wise, you could look at the Cleveland Cavaliers and go undefeated, right? After playing some of the best teams, right? But let's be honest, it's the Milwaukee Bucks. It's horrible, and there's going to have to be a real conversation about just how good Dame Lillard actually is or actually was.
No way.
It's fair to make the argument that Dame Lillard has only been good when there's no expectations for him to be great.
Wow.
It hurts my heart because he's from Oakland, California.
Hey.
It hurts. It hurts my heart to say, but his personal problems with his family has seeped over to his professional career. He's not one of those people that can be locked in. And he is playing some of the worst basketball of his career. And it's beyond the numbers. It's his demeanor. It's his lack of leadership. The pressure to win is different than when you're just playing for fun. And we've seen that happen with a lot of players when they play with LeBron. You know what I'm saying? So
good point.
Like D'Angelo Russell, he was an all-star when he went to the Nets.
He was. Carried the whole team by himself.
Get to the Lakers where there's expectations for you to win, and he's struggling. I hate to say it, but I don't believe Dame Lillard is ever actually being a true winner.
Whoa.
I think that he was getting away with playing in the mid-town type or mid-city type of thing where expectations were so average and we were just so excited to watch them play. But his status as one of the greats should be into real question. Giannis, we can't. He's a champion and an MVP multiple times. We cannot challenge that about him. We can't do it because he did it as he's the guy, not even on super team, no nothing. So there ain't really nothing to talk about with Giannis. He might have made a mistake by asking to get Dame Lillard or willing to relinquish that trade, because what you're finding is that Dame Lillard can't play defense.
Damn.
And it's showing at the highest rates, because if you look at it, he's never been asked to play defense. He's always been like opportunistic. He might get a steal here and there, but he's never been a good defender because he's tiny. And I don't believe he practices hard on defense either. And he's getting exposed because Milwaukee made their bread and butter on defense. So you have to understand, when you look at True Holiday, which some consider the best on-ball defender in the whole league, especially at the guard position, to replace that is almost impossible. And they're showing it because if you look at no, it's not age and attrition, LeGarrette, because Steph Curry is older than Dame Lillard. It's not that. It's the fact that when you're special like Steph, that's different. Dame Lillard has never, ever been a true winner. And I'm not saying he ain't won no games in Portland. He's never been a true winner, because now that the expectation has been put on him, he did not deliver. Y'all can say whatever y'all want about Anthony Davis, was losing all that time he was down with those Pelicans. He went to LA and he got the chip. He got it done. Right now, Dame Lillard is the most disappointing player in the NBA, and it's not even close. It's embarrassing to see how he's disappearing like this. His hot, cold days are like night and day. He can go from cold North Pole and have one good game or two, and then he's flat cold.
Wow.
It's just scary to watch this, man. Like, we all had expectations for him to be great. We thought that him and Giannis was going to take over, like really take it over.
I thought so.
This is embarrassing. It really, really is. And this is a knock on his legendary status. It really is. It's a knock on him. It's not a knock on Giannis, because Giannis has already proven that if you give him players that will defend and play hard, he can win. So it's not even on him.
Wow.
Because he's averaging 30. He's still doing what he normally does.
Yeah, he got 43 the other night.
It's not him. It's not him, bro.
And definitely not Middleton either. Middleton is doing what Middleton does. He's being slow and consistent.
The injury with Middleton plus age and attrition on Middleton is probably true, because he never really had like a fast game. He's always been like a good jump shooter and tall
range.
Yeah, so that's age and attrition for sure with Chris Middleton after he got that paper. But yeah, it just is what it is, man. It's extremely
Dame Leonard, Dame time. Made it to Looney Tunes. He made it to the Monstars. You saying he might be the biggest bust in recent times. Killed the whole idea of a big three, because that's what they were supposed to be.
So he can't be a bust because he's a good player, like, right? But I think when we was ranking him as one of the best players, we were making a mistake.
Damn.
The only
reason why he was good because he was on a bum ass team. Ain't nobody expect Portland to do anything. So you hit a 70-foot three in Paul George face. That's awesome. But now that you're on a team that you're supposed to be winning a championship with, all of a sudden you cannot deliver. That is scary.
The expectations change. Trey Young is playing better than him. It is what it is. Much smaller. Let me see what I'll tell you. One more shocking thing is how good the Warriors are playing. The Warriors are playing.
Are you shocked about that?
Because we have never really seen this team play good without Klay Thompson. If you get what I'm saying, Like we've never really seen this team. They're getting older. They don't really have that other second go-to star like that, like most teams need. So it's shocking to see how well they're playing. People are like their points per game differential in the first 9-10 games is on pace on some of their championship teams in the past. So
it's looking good.
It's looking good. I believe in my opinion that they're probably a pretender though. I just don't believe in the playoffs when you slow things down and you can prepare for a team multiple days and people can focus on trying to take your star out of it. I think they're more of a pretender, but I like to be wrong on that.
I mean, of course, you're from that area, so that'd be nice for you again. Y'all can have another parade, I guess.
No, I'm a Rockets fan, so I do not care if they lose.
What is going on?
Yeah.
How? What made you be I'm sorry that we had to pause. Golden State. What turned you into a Rockets fan?
My favorite player is Steve Francis.
Get out of here, a New Yorker.
The franchise was the man. Yeah,
I bust his ass when he was younger too.
I believe you. Yeah, and he said, he said, watch when I go to the league. And he was like, I'm going too. I believe
Oh man! Speaking of bust, what do you think about Bronny James? He made his first NBA shot. However, he has been demoted to the G League, and his first game at the G League, it was sold out, and LeBron was in attendance, and he did a decent performance.
So the Bronny James thing for me is like, I just love the LeBron family. I want to just say that, just as far as politics aside, because I don't really give a damn about politics. You know my position on things. How they conduct themselves as a family, how each of the kids is on the straight and narrow. You know what I mean? Nobody's really in the tabloids. To be able to isolate their family and present these young men to the world, I am astounded at it, to be honest with you. When you compare the Jordan family in comparison for that type of fame, I'm extremely impressed, right? That's on the personal side of it. On the sports side of it, Bronny James is not an NBA ready type player.
Wow.
He's undersized. I think he's 6'2", really 6'1" with some shoes on. His physique is not like, he's not a man child. Okay. He does have fundamentals. He's not a great shooter. He's not a great ball handler. He is a hard worker and he's a good defender. He has a good head on the shoulders, but he's not gifted that way. It's similar to how the Ball family is, where LaMelo's the best, actually, even though Lonzo is like extremely talented in his vision and things like that. LaMelo is the best. He's the youngest one. The same thing probably with the James family is Bryce, who's taller, actually may have a better chance of success. But ultimately, I don't see Bryce. I see him possibly having a career in the league if he can get on his Patrick Beverley. If he's able to do what Patrick Beverley can do, right? Really, really defend at a high level on ball defense, which I think that's possible for him, then he can have a good 7, 8, 9, 10-year career, maybe, because defense is always needed. But I do not see him being a starter in this league. I just don't see it. Most people that starters in the league do not go to the G League.
But also he's very young.
I
think he had so much on his name. We tend to forget that he was picked last. He was picked like what, number 54? 63? I don't know. He was very far down on the rankings because mainly because of his size. His age as well is a reason why his father wanted him to get out there. He tried to make history. He did, right? Technically. He even did his daddy's move on his first bucket in the NBA. He did that that nonsense play. I think he could be a good player. I just think he needs to get a little bit more bulky. He needs some more minutes, and the only way he's going to get minutes is through the G League. However, I think it's also not a good idea at the same time, because the only way you're going to experience NBA basketball by getting those garbage minutes and playing in the NBA, because it's a different league. You're playing with maybe 1,000 people in the stands. I was watching it. He scored 6 points, four assists. He looked decent.
No. Do you know what he shot from the field?
Why you gotta be so petty though?
I'm not being petty. I'm just saying.
What did he shoot? I was trying to make him look decent. He was 0 for 4 on threes, which proves your 3-point shooting and that he's a horrible shooter.
Mm-hmm.
But what's his field goal? I don't remember his field goal.
We can ask the chat. I believe it was 2 for 9 for the game or something like that.
Dang.
No. The best players dominate the G League, even on a low level of it. Because there's some really, really good players in the G League. There's not to knock that. He is really young. He should have stayed in college. Obviously, we know why he went to the NBA. They have a development league now. I get it. But I think it was a mistake to go to the league. I think he was better off hiding in college, where he could build his confidence to a certain level and possibly learn the game a little bit without the pressure that's going to exist with him being in the NBA. But it is what it is. I just think he's too undersized for his lack of talent in other areas. If he was like a great shooter, like a Reed that plays for the Rockets, right, out of Kentucky, right? If
Isaiah Thomas style of play, the young one.
Yeah.
He need to at least be at that level.
Yeah. If he's not a great shooter, he's not a great passer, then he doesn't have a position. You know what I'm saying? So defense is what he's going to hang his hat on. That's why he's made references to True Holiday as somebody he looks up to. Cool. True Holiday can shoot the ball. He can shoot the three. He really, really understands the game. He makes timely decisions. He is a ball hawk. So, and he is physically
strong, and he could post up very well for a 6. What, he's 6'4"?
Yeah, 6'4", solid. He's
no
special.
muscles, just all solid strength.
Pause. That's a New Yorker stuff, but yeah. So, I just it's nothing negative about him. I'm not saying anything bad about him. I'm just calling what I see. He's just not ready. But it was special to watch, and it's cool seeing what possibilities could exist in the future. You know what I'm saying? So,
do you think so? With NBA teams, right? With Cavaliers starting at 11-0, there's only a few teams that really started this good. Do you think they are a real contender? And if they were to keep on building off this great run that they are starting to do, can they actually compete with the West Coast?
No. The Cleveland Cavaliers are nothing but pretenders. If you look at the last couple MVPs, no one has been the size of what's their guard name? What's his damn name?
Mitchell?
Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, he's too small. He's too small. He's too small to lead a team to a championship. I'm sorry.
That's crazy. He's the same size as Dwayne Wade.